I went on a date with a black pillar recently, and when I got there, he was like, oh my gosh, you're so prettier than your pictures. Like on Tinder, you're a 6, but like in real life, you're an 8. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the first conversation. But I was like so far away from my house. Like, I was like, I'm in too deep. Like, whatever, I'll get dinner. And so we're just talking, and I don't know, he's fine, I guess. By the end of the date, he was like, actually, you're a 7.2. And I was like, that's a crazy thing to say. And he was like, no, it's fine. And then he pulls out like a bell curve graph, and he was like, see, I grade on a bell curve. See, look how little people are in 7.2. And I was like, do you understand that that's a really mean thing to say? And he was like, no, I'm just telling the truth. And I was like, okay, but do you understand that would be mean? And he just didn't get it. And then I was sitting there and I was like, why am I explaining empathy to a 23-year-old man? And then the end of the date rolls around. We're like really finishing up. I asked for the check. And he says to me, yeah, what I do all day is I sit on Reddit and I rate people's faces. So I paid my half and I left, and I haven't talked to him since.
So after watching this video, I went to her page and I looked through some of her more recent videos. In one of the videos, she talked about how the comment section basically was a bunch of the guys from TikTok calling her a 4 and a 1 and a 2, and saying that this didn't actually happen because no one would ever call her an 8. And I really struggle to feel bad for some of these guys at times. I know there is real issues for young men, but stuff like this makes it so much worse. Even the girls like her, who seems like a young, decent, seems nice and sweet, and even though the guy was being a little bit weird right away, still give him a chance, still give him a date, and now she probably regrets it, and now she hates herself even more because of all of these weirdos in the comments. Honestly, guys, do better.
Okay, I'm Riley. I'm 24. I'm from Houston, Texas. And honestly, I'm down for any good adventure. I just got scuba dive certified, and I'm planning to go to Australia this summer, so I'm super excited about that. And then I just picked up skiing like 2 years ago, and I honestly love any themed party. Like, those are like my favorite things to go to, my favorite things to plan. And I'm looking for someone that wants to be my adventure buddy, and it's someone that I can trust in and is going to be there for me.
Aww.
If any gentleman would like to get to know Riley more, please step forward. Hey Riley, we're going to have you sit down, but thank you for introducing yourself.
Now look, man, obviously a bit of context here is there is a curtain in between the two groups of people. So the guys actually can't see what this girl looks like, and they're really just probably judging based off of her voice. And while I'll be fair to the guys, the lisp probably comes across a little bit rough when you're only only hearing her voice, not seeing her face. But with that being said, listening to some of the things that she's interested in sounds pretty cool. I remember a time when guys would say girls have no hobbies. They don't do anything fun. They just scroll Netflix and sit on their phones all day. And it's like, this girl sounds like she's like having fun and enjoying her life. It's kind of wild to me that not at least one person wouldn't have said, hey, I'd like to get to know you. But on further examination, I realized that part of the problem here is exactly the issue. There's a divide that's happening amongst young men, and there's a group of young guys who, similar to women, I believe, have these unrealistic expectations and have slept with a lot of girls potentially, and are kind of in that, what would they call F-boy range. And I think that group of guys particularly definitely were in that group. None of them were particularly over attractive, in my opinion. And I know it sounds weird for a guy to rate another guy, sure, but also it's just the truth. And those guys, in my opinion, feel like they deserve something way more than what they're bringing to the table. And so now you have a young girl like this who's doing pretty well for herself. She's got some interesting, fun things going on. Kind of cute as well. And you got a bunch of guys over here like, nah, she sounds funny. I don't think she's going to look like the girls I see on Instagram. I believe some of the women are part of this issue, and their expectations have also grown way past what reality is. And oftentimes they're not trying to give a decent, good guy a chance either. And they're just kind of overlooking those decent, good guys that are in the middle. And I'm not talking about, some dude that's like in his basement dwelling, rating people's faces on Reddit all day. Not those guys.
What's the hottest thing a guy can do?
I'm not really into nice guys because I look boys, so I can't really think of anything nice that they can do.
My lucky day, hell yeah.
There's one guy that was too nice for me. And like it was the wrong place, wrong time. It was one of those, you know what I mean? That I wasn't in the state of mind to receive.
So when he was too nice, what did you do?
I guess shut him down. You know what I mean? Like I just shut him down.
And this is the stuff that we're talking about. That's the guy you left to go be with the chads. You left that guy.
I don't know if you guys know this. There's like a male loneliness epidemic. You guys know? Clap it up if you heard of the male loneliness. Yeah, just the women. That's cool. And yeah, if you don't know, there's basically so many men in this country are reporting that they have no one close to them, that they're declaring it an epidemic. And it's crazy because I didn't know epidemic could be lonely guy. You know, I thought epidemic was like medical virus, like COVID-19. But the men in this country are chronically unfucked. They are medically without kisses. And it's terrifying, you know, because it's the first epidemic that spreads through no contact.
This week, a report came out from the Surgeon General that loneliness is an epidemic. Actually, they said that in the UK about 5 years ago. Why are we always behind? But it's a big problem affecting millions of children, adults, even older adults. And people who are lonely are more prone to Alzheimer's disease. They're more prone to depression. And researchers has estimated has the same negative health effects as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Humans are a relational species. We're not polar bears. We need to be together. And so if you want to be healthy, be connected, not through your smartphone, but through physical groups of people, whether it's education or something you're interested in or church. Be connected.
This is a real problem. This is a real issue, and people being lonely and feeling lonely genuinely affects their health negatively, and it's causing issues for everyone. I don't think it's just the girls. I don't think it's just the guys. I think both are having issues finding relationships, and I think as a society, we need to figure out how we can kind of solve this. And I don't think it's a government intervention type of thing. Like, but what can we do to make young men more attractive to as many women as possible? And vice versa. What type of things can we start to, I don't want to say push, but it's just championing. I think messaging is important. I think we've messaged out to women and men both that there's certain things that you don't have to do or you should do, and which have directly led to this divide.
Misogyny is causing the male loneliness epidemic. The misogynists get women. I'm gonna just let that breathe for a second. Most incels are incels not because they're misogynist, but because women simply do not like them. There's a lot of incels who are in multiple friend zones and their female friends love them and would never call them a misogynist. Y'all calling Mr. 6'3" got money and treats women bad. Y'all talking, that's the misogynist. He's slaying shit. The podcast bros, as crazy as it sounds, like no fugazi, even these niggas are the worst. Fresh and Fit, yo, bro, they get women, bro. They're rich. Guys on these podcasts who y'all hate and think are the biggest, Andrew Tate, yeah, they're rich, they're tall, they're handsome.
Some of the most genuine, nicest, decent guys that are out there are the ones that are getting pushed into the corners further and further. They're the ones that aren't getting any attention. They're the ones who the girls would never even give an attempt to see past just a friend. So that is the kind of stuff that we have to work on. And I don't want to tell anyone to like lower your standards, but just be realistic and maybe maybe look past just like the most shallow, basic physical traits of a person, because the personality could be a lot better. And a lot of these guys that I'm thinking of or picturing in my head aren't even completely unattractive men.
Hey y'all, I got a question. Am I the only one that gets rejected by a lot of females? Because every time when I try to talk to a female, she always be like, you don't need to know my name. When I try to ask her name, try to get to know her for her personality. And also, when I try to talk to females, they always ignore me. They always block me. You know, when I said, hey, how are you? And my name's Ladarius. I want to get to know you because I think you're a kind person. And I am a respectful person that has a lot of common sense, and I kept getting constantly rejected by a lot of females. I'm afraid that I would never have no wife, no girlfriend, because they keep rejecting me because they think I'm ugly and unattractive, and I know I'm not.
And that's it, man. That's heartbreaking to see. That's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. And I get it. There's some things there, but the comments did give me some hope. Comments gave me some hope on the world. So let's all do better, man. Let's all be better, do better. I think I only really wanted to touch on this video just because of the most recent videos I've been seeing more and more this coming across my page, and I just wanted to kind of talk about this problem that I see more and more. And I think there's a lot of different facets to it. I think there's a lot of different problems. I think I've touched on this a little bit before about being realistic with yourself and being realistic with who you're trying to date. But I think this recent wave of videos that I've been seeing about it has been more and more sad and more depressing on the real like truth and like the heart of it all. So that's all I got for today. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Took a break from my normal content, but thought this was an important topic to touch on.